Good afternoon. It's difficult to come behind such amazing stories and try to tell your piece of story, right? Tamika is one awesome person. So I brag on her all the time, but everyone's story I heard today is absolutely amazing and phenomenal. And I appreciate your survivorship. I really, really do. My story began and I'm sorry, sometimes I have a little chemo brain, so y'all forgive me on that. Okay, you got me. You got me. Okay. So my story begins in November of 2017. I had an abnormal pap, and my doctor said, "Don't worry about it. It's gonna be okay. That happens, and come back in 3 months. We're gonna do a biopsy." And I said, "Okay." February 2018, my doctor calls me and says, "Hey, I need you to come in." And so I was like, "All right." And he said, "Kim, kiddo, you have cancer." I was 42. I was stunned. I was devastated. What am I going to do? I have kids. I want to live. March 5th, 2018, I had a radical hysterectomy. It was a very difficult time for me because even though in my mind, I didn't know if I wanted to have more kids or not, but I didn't want cancer to take that option from me. I know I'm being a parent right now because I know Tamika kind of said the same thing. But 4 weeks later, I go back for my follow-up, and my oncologist says, "I think you need chemo and radiation. There were some cancer cells that were outside the cervix. And so we need to get with your insurance." My insurance was refusing to pay. They said, "You already saw that she had cancer. Why does she need more scans? You know she has it. Y'all go figure it out." A year later, the cancer is now on the other side of my body. They said, "Okay, hey, now you need chemo and radiation." So I went through my reoccurrence. Scary, scary moments. Scary, scary moments. And I said, "You know what? I'm going to be a change agent. I got this. I'm going to do this." And I had all this excitement, and I prayed, and I said, "God, you're going to do this for me. I'm going to live." And I went through my first chemo treatment. I was like, "Okay, wasn't that bad, wasn't that bad." And then I woke up Saturday like, "Oh my God, okay, yeah, it's that bad, it's that bad." And radiation was the one that was very difficult for me because you're in there by yourself. Nobody else can come in. You're all alone. And I'm laying on this table, and they said, "Miss Williams, you're gonna have to be still," because now I'm crying because I'm by myself. And I said, "God, please make this work." And I started singing a song in my head. "It won't always be like this. God will perfect that concerning you. Sooner or later, it will turn in my favor. It's turning around for me." So I walk out. I'm like, "Okay, I got this. But you're going 5 days a week." So my third week, I go into my chemo treatment, and they said, "Kim, your kidneys are failing. Like something is going on. Your kidneys are failing. We can't give you chemo." And I'm like, "Now wait a minute, you're gonna give me this chemo because I need to live." So I'm crying. And then I said, "It won't always be like this. God will perfect that concerning me. Sooner or later, it'll turn in my favor. It's turning around for me." So they give me fluids. They said, "Okay, come back next week. No, come back in 2 days." Go back in 2 days. They said, "Okay, you can have your chemo." All right. I go back the next week. They said, "Okay, now your blood levels are too low. You're going to have a blood transfusion." It won't always be like this. God will perfect that concerning me. Sooner than later, it'll turn in my favor. It's turning around for me. So I had my blood transfusion. It was scary because I'm like, who blood is this? They was like, Kim, just sit down somewhere. I'm like, okay, fine. And I made it. I rang the bell for chemo. I rang the bell for my radiation. October 11th. And I said, God, is it finished? December of 2019, I received my first no evidence of disease. And I will tell you one more time, it won't always be like this. God will perfect that concerning you. Sooner or later, it'll turn in your favor. It's turning around for you. Thank you.